Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Liam from Liam's Tinnitus, and as you can see, I kind of got a beard. I've been in hospital for about 3 days. I had to come back to hospital for the pain. So as you can see here, this is a ketamine infusion. So I just have to come back here probably once a month for like 2 to 3 days. My beard grows really fast. I could just get ketamine. So you can see this, but I've just finished watching Darren Schmidt's video on me, and I want to actually, I'm going to show the whole video. I've just copied it and put it in this video, but I want to show you as well and just add on to that and really show you something about hospitals and how they're really designed. They're not optimized for health because they don't do anything with food. So I have here with me now, I have the options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'll read you the options for breakfast. All bran, porridge, sugar, equal, wheat bix, rice bubbles, muesli, cornflakes, or fruit. And then bread, Vegemite, margarine, apple juice, tea, coffee. So no meat, no protein. I actually had an argument with the nutritionist who came in here who tried to tell me saturated fat was bad. Ridiculous. Okay? What about dinner? Chicken with noodle, white bread, margarine, chicken broth. Okay, we got a bit of meat in here, but vegetables, cabbage, tuna, and salad, fresh fruit, raspberry jelly, vanilla ice cream. What are they thinking? Completely ridiculous. Now, I want you to look at what I've got, and I'm going to shout out to my own mother, who basically saved my life by bringing in meat for me. So what do we got here? We got liver. Okay, this is just liver with bacon. So thanks, Mum, for bringing that in. Hope you can see that on this phone. Here we have just red meat steak, and you can see how well it's cooked. You can look at the fat veins in that. Look how, I can't see what I'm filming now, so I haven't get it. Look at the fat veins of fat in that. That's what you want. That's what helped me survive. That's life right there. And of course, I also have a bit of temporary, help from medicine. So I have antibiotics. I have obviously the pain relief, which meat it can help with cutting out I noticed that the other day I had a Coca-Cola and my feet started hurting straight away. So meat is also good for you. I'll call the nurse on that. Meat is also good for you, but it also is great eating meat because it means that you won't eat the other stuff. Okay, and I also have betadine here. So I used current medical help, and I use, I eat the foods that humans are supposed to eat. So betadine, I sort of bathe my feet in that twice a day. Okay, that's what I do, and I get lots of sleep, and I'll be out of hospital tomorrow. So I might be back in hospital in maybe a month just for the pain relief, and then that's it. But I'm eating meat the entire time. If I didn't eat meat before, okay, I lost about 20 kilos in 10 days. All my lean muscle mass went away and went to my organs. I eat plenty of meat now, and I only poo probably once every 3 days because it gets absorbed. Okay, if you look at Sean Baker's, when he talks about the research on people who get their colons removed, they don't poo that much because it all gets absorbed. Mine all goes to my organs. That'd be my kidney failure. It'd go to my kidneys. It'd go to my liver. It'd go to my heart, and it'll be going to my spleen. It'll also be going to fixing all the muscles. Okay, be going to muscles because I lost 20 kilos. You can probably see that I'm quite skinny. Normally that's quite bigger. Okay, I lost a lot of my muscle from getting sick, so I'm glad I had that. And now I'm rebuilding it, and I would be dead if I didn't have that. So check out this video by Darren Schmidt. Thanks, Darren, for making that evaluation. I think that's really cool, sharing that story. And his channel is about tinnitus, and I just want you guys to know my tinnitus didn't come back even though I died, even though I was pumped with antibiotics. I made sure they didn't give me gentamicin, the antibiotic. They were about to, and I said no. So, knowledge really is power here. And thanks, Darren, again.
Hey, my name is Dr. Darren Schmidt. If you're new to my channel, I've been practicing hardcore holistic nutrition since 1998, and I've been studying it since 1994. We're going to go over this case study, which is absolutely fascinating. It's a guy that I met a year ago. He actually interviewed me for his documentary on tinnitus, but he had food poisoning very severely at the beginning of this year. I'm going to show you some before and after pictures. I'm going to show you some video clips that he put on Instagram and YouTube, and I did some cuts and edits to make it shorter. But if you're squeamish, you should suck it up and watch this because his healing results are absolutely fascinating. And the main tool for him to heal is the carnivore diet, eating only meat. So hang on and enjoy this video.
But what happened was I got probably the worst food poisoning of my life. I was supposed to either lose both my hands and feet from necrosis, or I was supposed to die. The doctors couldn't culture anything from my blood, so I had a cardiologist, I had a kidney doctor, I had organ failure, I had myocarditis, which is failure of the heart muscle, I had renal failure, I had a thrombitis problem, I had sepsis.
The first thing I want to do is show you the severity of his condition. This is back in January, or maybe a little bit earlier, and it was either staph or strep in the food that he consumed, and I'll show you some, he'll talk about it in a video in a second here, but you can see the infection in his face, and look at his eyes. He died for about a minute and they resuscitated him. He was supposed to lose his nose, but he was able to keep that. He was supposed to lose his toes and his whole feet, both feet. And you can see how bad this is. Here's his other foot, and then here's his feet, including his heels. Now, at this point, his heels are improving.
So there's my feet, all nice and black, necrosis, but they're healing. And the doctors said, bottom of my foot, the doctors said you're going to lose all of this, you're going to cut it off, as in like the whole of the foot. And you're going to have to lose all of this. It all used to be black, but now it's all new skin. All this is going to have to go. But guess what? That's not going to happen because it's peeling off. It's just literally peeling off. After I have a shower, it just peels off. Okay? And it does that. Look at that. It's just all coming off. So I'm not going to lose the foot at all.
And he was supposed to lose his hands. You can see at his fingertips right here that they're black. That's from the infection. Here's a picture of him later with those same left hand. Look at his fingernails there and his the tips of his fingers. And they're basically healed up.
So basically, I had a friend come down from Melbourne to Chiang Mai, and the usual restaurant that I go to where I just get red meat, that's all I really eat is red meat, perfectly healthy, lots of lean muscle, everything you want, nice high cholesterol, nice high testosterone, sleep well, erections every morning, perfectly healthy. Red meat does that for you, fantastic. Red meat, soda water, salt, iodine, selenium, organ meats as well, all fantastic. Liver, brain, all that good stuff. Blood as well, really good. Perfectly healthy. But unfortunately I had a friend come down from Melbourne and he said, let's try this chicken dish. And so I said, okay, let's try this chicken dish, and it was crumbed. And I had some, and it kind of tasted funny, and this yellow stuff kind of came out of the one that I ate. We shared a dish, and you know, whatever, it's fine. Within about 2 hours of eating the food, I was throwing up myself. I've had food poisoning before, so I just had a bath and kind of went through it. And next morning I woke up and I was way worse, went to hospital, and then within about 10 hours I was being resuscitated because I had basically a heart attack. The myocarditis got so bad I had to be put on a ventilator. The doctor said to my parents, look, here's the options. You can cut off his hands and feet, and hopefully the gangrene won't spread to his organs and shut down his brain, or he won't become mentally disabled. And then they said, no, not going to cut off his hands and feet, thank God. We don't want him to survive if he's going to be, he won't want that. And that's 100% right. I don't want to have fucking no hands or feet. And they said, let him write it out, and I wrote it out, and I made a miraculous recovery. All the doctors are shocked, they couldn't believe it. And the doctors are in shock, and all I did was I said, I'm not eating the hospital food, I'm not taking this drug, I'm not taking that drug, just give me meat. Just give me the red meat. Anyway, so I'm recovering now. Basically, they're trying to tell me my spleen has failed and it can't filter the bacteria, and I think that's total bullshit. So what I'm going to do is just start eating spleen. I'll keep you updated, but once again, guys, I'm still recovering, still eating plenty of meat, still getting plenty of sun, but basically came back from the dead. It was literally one of the hardest things I've ever done. The doctors just told me, look, you're going to die, so make your peace with it, or we're going to cut your hands and feet off. And the doctors, once again, I even recorded it, my last appointment with the doctor, and he said, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe how well you're doing. He said, the doctors said, when I was getting better, they said, all right, they walked in, well, you're going to lose all your toes, and you're going to lose most of your fingers. Does that look like I'm going to lose most of my fingers?
To summarize, the standard care for him was antibiotics, cutting off his hands, cutting off his feet, and feeding him cereal and toast. Now, luckily, the antibiotics worked, and then he avoided the surgery, and he avoided the horrible diet, and he was carnivore long before the food poisoning happened. Sometimes it takes some dramatic changes in your life in order to avoid the standard results that you get in medicine. So, for example, if you've been eating a high carb diet for decades and now you have diabetes, the standard of care in medicine is continue to eat a high carb diet and then go on metformin. Later, that won't work. Then go on insulin. Later, you'll have more problems. You go on blood pressure medication. That's the standard of care. It's very, very poor. It's horrible, actually. But you've been doing a certain lifestyle for so many decades, you have to change your lifestyle. And it can be very dramatic. And you can get good results. Within a few weeks, you know you're on the right track. And it may take you a year, 2 years, 5 years to get your health back. Now, in my own personal case, I had black mold from an office, and I was breathing it in. I got aspergillosis. I have blood tests and urine tests to verify this. And in February 2nd of 2016, I thought I was going to die. But I got through it, and I used all natural care. And my mold lawyer, my mold doctor, and the mold tester, all three individuals said to me, either I can't believe you're not dead, or they said, I can't believe that you're not on Social Security, and here you are working, and you're still functioning in a daily life. And it's because I went the natural route. My diet's been good for a long time. I had to change my diet around to adapt to the mold poisoning in my body, and then I took supplements to reverse it. So that's just another example of, if you are confident enough and you're educated enough and you have the right resources, you have to tackle your health condition with the tools given to us by Mother Nature. And our bodies are made from Mother Nature. And if you need drugs, it's designed to be short-term. All drugs are designed to be short-term, and they help you get over the hump. But in the meantime, you're repairing your body with the tools that Mother Nature provides, and that's diet. And you can biohack the diet with supplements. So I first met Liam when he called me up, and he flew from Australia to Michigan to interview me. He put me in a documentary on tinnitus. He used to be a jazz drummer. He got tinnitus that was so severe as a 10 out of 10, and he reversed his own tinnitus. And he posted this on the internet, and people said, no, that's not true. It can't be true. And you're lying. And he made this documentary with a bunch of experts and then some personal case histories. And he's got protocols and procedures you can do to get rid of tinnitus. So I'll put the link below on this documentary. He just released it not too long ago, so you can watch that documentary. And when you listen to Liam talk about his journey through this recovery of food poisoning, just realize that he's bucking the system. He's got that attitude. He's got that determination and willpower to get through the illness and to get through the hospital care, because that itself was a challenge, because the doctors wanted to cut his hands and feet off.
And it's funny, but it's almost as if when you eat properly, fast, get lots of sun, exercise, and sleep well, the doctor's advice doesn't apply to you.
The doctors wanted to give him protein, and it wasn't protein, it was actually grains.
I mean, the doctors these days are just ridiculous. Like, they'll just come in and they think they're so smart and they'll say anything. And they say, all right, well, make sure you get your protein. I'm going to get your breakfast in now. What was the breakfast? It was a Big M, it was cereal, it was tea, and it was toast. Protein. Get your protein in.
He had the determination over his doctors and over the illness itself. Now, luckily, there are antibiotics, and the antibiotics helped him out. But what if it was fungus? Usually, doctors miss fungus. A patient just earlier this morning sent me a link to an article about a baby that died in the hospital. And this is like this 9th baby that has died in this hospital since 2001. And there's mold in the hospital somewhere, in the ventilation system maybe. And medicine also has a really tough time with parasites. And medicine has a really tough time with viruses too. So luckily for Liam, it was a bacterium and not a parasite, not a virus, not a fungus. And because a lot of times people fail on those and the drugs just aren't good enough. And you really got to go with diet and supplements, because there are some fantastic supplements for the other situations. Now remember, as you go through your healing journey, it's not always a walk in the park. You can have your ups and downs, and you have some detoxification side effects. You have some discomfort as your intestines are eliminating organisms and you're eliminating mucus, and you're blowing your nose and, you know, parasites are coming out of your nose and all this horrible, disgusting things. But that's what it takes. It's almost unreal now. Whereas in the 1950s and earlier, it wasn't so unreal. It was more accepted that as a patient gets better, they may have some side effects, and that's called a Herxmer's reaction. But now the way that I practice, there are supplements that can prevent that Herxmer reaction, and he can heal, and it'll be smoother now than what it was decades ago. But either way, sometimes people still have problems as they clean their body. I certainly had my ups and downs getting the mold out of my chest and other scenarios throughout my life that I had to handle with nutrition and supplements. All right, make sure you hit the like button on this video and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you at the next video.